In this chapter, we'll discuss what is MATLAB and how to start it, how to generate and plot data, how to import existing data from files, and how to export data. All very useful things in everyday work. What do you get with MATLAB? Desktop tools and development environment help working with MATLAB functions and files via graphical user interfaces. Mathematical Function Library is a great collection of computational algorithms including elementary functions and more sophisticated ones like matrix inverse or fast Fourier transform. The MATLAB language is a higher-level matrix-oriented language with all programming features you can imagine. MATLAB graphics support two-dimensional and three-dimensional data visualization and allow you to build complete graphical user interfaces for your MATLAB applications. MATLAB also provides external interfaces library that allows you to write programs that interact with MATLAB or call legacy code. Let's start MATLAB. Open MATLAB by double-clicking on the MATLAB icon. By default, MATLAB displays a user interface with the command window to enter MATLAB commands, the workspace browser to display MATLAB variables, the current directory browser to display files in the current folder and navigate over the folder structure of the operating system, and the command history viewer to record your work history. So, let's explore some possibilities. As you see above, we are now in the MATLAB directory. So let us switch to our MATLAB project directory. This is the directory that I just created. If you do not have a directory where you want to work right now, generate it by right-clicking in the current folder and clicking on New Folder, then give it a name. For example, My Folder. This is the way to generate it very easily. If you want to delete it, just right-click on it and delete it. In the command window, we can generate data and call functions. Now I generate the variable a, which is equal to 2. And it appears in the basic workspace. So this is the workspace in which all the MATLAB variables will be visible. We also see in the command history that the command that I just typed in is visible here too. So now let's create a matrix. For the matrix creation, we need square brackets. Now I can reuse the existing variable and add some extra numbers. We can see the variable in the workspace and in the command history. So now we also see the variable, how it was generated, just underneath our command. To suppress this, we can use the semicolon. To clean up the command window, we can use the clc command. We can save all the variables by using the command save. As we did not specify the name of the file into which we want to save the variables, and we did not specify the variables which we want to save, all the variables were saved into the matlab.mat file, which is a binary MATLAB file for saving data. You can send it to other users and they will be able to open it in MATLAB. So now we know the command clc to clean up the command window. We can clean up the workspace by clicking on the variables and deleting those. Or we can use the clear command to do it. So how do we load the data that were saved in the matlab.mat file? For this, we can double-click on the matlab.mat file, which will load all the data and automatically show how the data can be loaded using a MATLAB command. It's a load command. We also can hover over the matlab.mat file, and we will see all the contents in the content window underneath. In the command history, I can just double-click on the existing commands and exercise those. I can delete all the files. If I generate the two variables again, I can save those to a file that I call my file. And, for example, the matrix is a variable that I want to save. So I can specify that matrix only, and it will be saved to the myFile file. Only what I want will be saved. So let's summarize. If we have a variable in the workspace, we can save it with the command save to a file and we can load it again using the command load so that we have a MATLAB variable with which we can operate. Let's imagine that we have existing data, for example, a text file. We do not have this text file available right now, so let's generate it. For generating a file, I can use the New Script button, which I can save as my data.txt and fill it with data. I can read that existing data via MATLAB graphical user interface or by using the MATLAB functions. And then I can plot the data for analysis by using the MATLAB plotting tools. You do not need any programming knowledge to do that. Before using MATLAB for any kind of data analysis, external data must be imported into MATLAB and be available as MATLAB variables. For many common file formats, this process is supported by the import wizard. It does not require any programming skills. Just right-click on the existing file in the current directory browser and choose Import Data. The import wizard opens with a preview of the data. Sometimes a MATLAB user needs to suggest the structure of the data depending on the format of the data. I use the comma-separated values. I have some text data and some regular numerical data. Click on Next and import both variables by clicking on Finish. Now we have both variables in the workspace. And now we can manipulate them. I can open the data by double-clicking on the variable. I can plot just one row, for example. See what's going on in here.